It is time for the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine to hold race number 2 of the weekend. Welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. It is time to go racing here at Spain. Here's your grid then for this contest. It is Enzo Dellini who is on pole position. He's next to Pedro Claro. And then we find ourselves with Bora next to Evan Gilter. They are 3rd and 4th. And then it is Michael Belov. Great result for him when it came to qualifying. He is next to our race winner from yesterday, Matteo Di Paolo. Guess who's behind his championship rival, Freddie Slater. He'll go from 7th next to Yamakoshi, who will be in 8th. Then it is Jin Nakamura in 9th. And Jack Beaton will go from 10th on the grid. Rashid Al-Daheri is in 11th, and then it is Taito Kato who is in 12th position. Konato Lee has the possession of P13, and then Formula 3 driver Santiago Ramos takes a step backwards in the ladder and will start in P14 on today's grid for RPM Racing. Then it is Yuan Pusue next to Ricky Liu, and then we find ourselves with Edu Robinson. And Edu Robinson finds himself next to Dion Gauda, who's in 18th. He was our rookie winner yesterday. Then it's Saka Almasheri in 19th, next to Capito. And then it is Borna and Nantaro Birnbakti. Then it is Maschio and Tim Gayhardt. They are 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. In 25th and 26th, it is Yaroslav Vasilaho. And Nikita Bedrin has the possession of P26 on the grid. So we come here with the news that we will be starting behind the safety car, and the reason being that there is unequal grip conditions on the grid. If you were not with us for Italian F4, which we covered on the channel earlier on today, it has been raining in the morning. We didn't have any rain. There was not a sight of rain. It was slick tyres for most of the field in the Italian F4 race, but it is unequal on the grid, and it means therefore we have to start behind the safety car and therefore have our first rolling start to start a race this season as well. We last had it in the championship in the first ever time we covered the championship. So the first time that we covered the series at Monza last year, 2024, race 1 of the weekend, we had a rolling start, and it was only race number 2 of that said weekend where we got to call a start for the first time of the category. So it has been a while. We've avoided it across the season, but Europe sometimes does throw up some of its weather shenanigans, and that's exactly what we had this morning. But it has left unequal conditions for both sides of the grid. So one side will have a advantage, and just to make sure that it doesn't affect the order too much, we're going to be having a safety car start. It should be a rolling start. So the way the procedure works is we are basically go. So the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine is underway because the clock is ticking down, as you can see. We've got 30 minutes on the clock plus 1 lap. It is immediately ticking down, and the race is underway. Now, from this point onwards, we will move and progress our way onto a rolling start procedure once they feel that the safety car can come in. In Italian F4 earlier on, we had 2 laps behind the safety car, and then after that they allowed us to get going. Whether that will be the same case here, who knows? Of course, as I've mentioned, it has been a few hours since that Italian F4 race, so we find ourselves with surely the circuit having dried out a little bit more. So I would hopefully expect that we can get the safety car in at the end of this lap, but they may just give the drivers an extra lap just in case if the circuit is slightly green, to allow them to get used to the conditions that they have compared to what they had for qualifying this morning. Qualifying, which as I mentioned, was topped by Dellini, and it was Pedro Claro who topped the other group. So we of course have group qualifyings here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, and in that group qualifying it was Enzo Dellini's group who was quicker, and that sets himself on pole position as he chases another win this season. Pedro Claro 2nd place, Ashke Bora in 3rd, and Evan Giltez in 4th, and then Michael Belov in 5th. So it is going to be an interesting race, we hope, as well in this championship. Remember, these are the final races of this era before Alpine pull out and it fully goes the way of the FIA. So big changes coming up next season. The championship completely rebrands and gets going again, kind of what we had from 2020 to 2021, where it was Formula Renault before, and then it turned into the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. So this championship, a long history in all of its disguise, and we will be, I can tell you, having at least at minimum 2 laps behind the safety car, because they're making their way around the final corner and we've not had confirmation of it being any other way. Now, yesterday we put a huge emphasis on there being a race start and how important the start was. Completely different story here. You don't get a race start. All you get is a safety car start, which, to be fair, we didn't have yesterday. But the drivers don't actually get the standing start as we would have predicted, because the whole reason why we're doing the safety car restart, the reason we've got is that it is unequal on the grid. So it's a complete different story now. It's a complete different story of this race. If you are Matteo Di Paolo and Freddie Slater, championship contenders, you are kind of stuck. You don't have anything you can do from this point onwards. In terms of the race start, that would have been a huge opportunity to gain, and that opportunity has been taken away from them. So that is such a shame for those 2 drivers in specific, who would have surely tried to move forward. And Enzo Dellini, well, he finds himself, I'd say, quite happy, considering our polls said it didn't end well yesterday. Neither did P3 man. I think they'll be quite happy that in this case that we've got ourselves a safety car restart, meaning Dellini decides when the race begins, rather than to the discretion of the lights going out. So it is a complete different situation as to what we've got. The sun is fading away. Could that indicate a bit more rain incoming? I'm hoping that Italian F4 can get a standing start, because we've not had any standing starts here today, and I would love to actually call one as well. I'd love to call one. So let's hope that a standing start does come our way at some point, but not in this championship, because, well, we've got unequal conditions on the grid. It is time to go racing in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. And Enzo Dellini has left it, well, not at all. He's gone quite early. He's putting his foot down as we will make our way round the final few corners. And we are green for the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Round 8, race 2 is underway as we come over the line. Dellini, Claro, Bora, your top 3. Is there anyone who can try and make some overtakes now? Claro looked to get a good restart. He's gone with Dellini. There won't be an opportunity into the first turn. What about further back though? Remember, your 2 title contenders, the Trident and the Prema, of Slater and Di Paolo respectively, are together on the circuit, so there's plenty of possibilities between those 2 drivers. Wheel to wheel we go between the Premas. Rashid Al-Daheri up against Jack Beaton, and a drive around the outside for Al-Daheri. Could be coming in, but he'll be in deep. Turn 3, a tricky corner to try and make that said move. He's still fighting up against the Prema man. Meanwhile, Yamakoshi is just staying ahead of Jin Nakamura, and Jin Nakamura is going to find himself not being allowed through. We make our way through on the opening lap with Dellini, P1. What a start to the race that was then. Absolutely wild stuff in this championship. As per normal, a lot of people, of course, I'm sure won't be happy about the fact that it wasn't a standing start when the circuit is so dry, but I guess you can understand it from some perspectives, considering there would have been a bit of a grip advantage off the grid. Let's make our way down towards the braking zone, and Freddie Slater not wasting any time. He wants to go after his championship rival. Meanwhile, side by side we go. Taito Kato is up against Jack Beaton, and Jack Beaton just staying ahead for the moment in time. Not the only battle going on. Taito Kato all the way around the outside. That would be brave up against Al-Daheri, but he was always going to get forced wide into the gravel. And that is exactly what happens. Just rejoins. And you've got cars absolutely everywhere. We've got a Trident. That is Kanato Lee. That has gone off into the gravel trap. And now Taito Kato has gone off as well. Drama here as the fighting goes on further back. Back down the straight we go. In towards turn 1. Are we going to see a move? Wheel to wheel between Beaton and Taito Kato, who goes around the outside, and Taito Kato will take the place. He'll be all out of shape on the way in. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, Yuan Pusui is battling, and Kanato Lee is the driver who he was fighting up against down towards turn 1. And they make their way in towards turn 4 now. Let's take a look at a replay. Was there some contact further back? My word, Giovanni Maschio off the road into the gravel trap, and surely we will need a safety car. The safety car will be deployed. Giovanni Maschio taken out of the contest. What a huge disappointment for him, as he has another retirement in this championship. Unfortunately, it has been the case so many times, on so many occasions, for Giovanni Maschio. And that is not what he would have wanted at all. As the field navigates their way through, then it will be behind the safety car. We'll be back to the exact same procedure as what we started the race with. So now the field will get themselves in a position to take a breather and, of course, assess what has gone right and what has gone wrong. 12 DNFs become 13 in his FRECA career. Giovanni Maschio has had 54 race starts in the championship. This was his 55th, and unfortunately it will not be a 55th that he will want to remember. Okay, so a reminder to you that some of our drivers who are no longer with us this season, so who did start the season with us but will not be continuing with us: Enzo Peugeot, Maya Verg, Dorian Pan. Dorian Pan putting full focus on the F1 Academy Championship, which she is fighting with Maya Verg for as well. So that is what's taking place there, by the way, just for information, which is why Dorian Pan will not be with us. And Maya Verg has, of course, raced in this championship prior, so plenty of experience. And then Arthur Egerter, Enzo Richer, Casper Stuka won't be with us either. Neither will Capito or Zachary David or Zenerishi. So plenty of names, I think. It's too much information at the moment for you. Don't worry, I won't just bore you with naming every single one of them, but there's a few to name for you, as we are behind the safety car as well. So we make our way through. That's the first quarter of the race done, everybody. Bit of a safety car to start it, bit of a safety car to end it. So the field bunched up, and Enzo Dellini has another safety car restart to deal with. As long as he can get some good exits, he can keep himself in contention. The car being cleared away. Think we should be good for a safety car restart next time by, I think. We could have really gone ideally this time even. I think they would have had it covered by the time they got there next time by, but no point rushing it, I guess, is the way to look at it. Of course we all want to get this race underway as soon as possible and are biased for action, but I understand from safety perspectives that it is not the ideal. That is not the ideal situation. We could definitely wait one more lap before getting green flag racing. But I'm sure if you are Claire, if you are Bora, you'll want to get on with it. You'll want to race. I'm 100% sure that they will not want to just sit there, sitting behind, and continue behind the safety car. They want to give themselves the best chance to try and take this win. I'm still yet this weekend across Italian F4 or FRECA. Safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, by the way. Still yet to see a move on a restart. To be fair, we have had Italian F4 races which have not had safety cars. That was yesterday. We've had a FRECA race yesterday that didn't have a safety car. So at the same time, I can't really comment on there being so many races, but still yet to see a safety car restart, which has seen a change of lead. So we'll see how it's going to play out, or whether anyone will be able to do it. So it all depends, really. Because you have such an interesting final sector and part of the lap, you have a lot of options to go. And I feel like because of the dirty air that you get in these cars and the struggle it is to overtake sometimes, that if you go quite early, you have enough time to shake off your rival. And of course, there's no DRS or anything, and especially there wouldn't even be after a safety car. You just don't get enough overspeed to then go on the attack. You have to be really close and You have to kind of hope that there's a mistake. Around a circuit like Monza, possibly, I can imagine there being some form of battles on the restart. Looking forward to commentating on the Hockenheim round. That'll be our penultimate round, and then we'll end the season at Monza. Of course, Monza, I've already had experience of commentating FRECA at that circuit 1 year ago. But it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with Hockenheim. That'll be the round prior. Okay, Delaney goes super early. He goes at the end of the back straight. And this is what I'm talking about. They go super early. They get their foot down. And the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, they nearly catch the safety car. They do catch the safety car. And then Enzo Delaney backs them all up again. He went so early that he caught the safety car, then he backed them all up, and then we are green flag racing once again. Messi restart there as their field make their way through, and this time Delaney knows he has to defend because it wasn't the ideal circumstance because they nearly caught the back of the safety car and had to back out of it. Here we go. Claro getting himself closer to the lead. Does he go for the move into turn one? Delaney defends and he covers the place. Belov meanwhile thinking about the inside line up against Evan Gilter. Gilter stays ahead. What about Slater up against Di Paolo? Top two of the championship. Could be about to go wheel to wheel. Two drivers who are certainly doing exactly that are Jack Beaton and Rashid Al-Daheri. They've been close together so far in this race. As meanwhile, Freddie Slater around the outside of his championship rival. Slater past one. Is he going to make the move on two? That would be outrageous because he's now got the inside line and Slater gets past two cars. One of them being his championship rival and the other being Michael Belov. Extraordinary stuff from Freddie Slater who went around the outside, then to the inside and then got the move done. Now, does Di Paolo follow through? So important in the context of the championship, and it is going to be Slater ahead, then it will be Di Paolo, then it will be Belov, sorry. Then it will be Di Paolo as we make our way through. Extraordinary stuff. Does Belov fight it back though? Up against Slater. Covers the inside line, does Slater. Absolutely extraordinary from Freddie Slater. Going around the outside. Incredible move. That is the move that we love to see in the championship. Freddie Slater all on it. Absolutely fantastic. What a overtake. And now, he didn't only just get past his championship rival, which I would say should be enough of a task anyway. It is your championship rival. It is the man. It is the only driver you're competing against this season for the title. I'd say that's enough of a task. No, he goes and puts one car in between himself and the trident man of Di Paolo. Extraordinary stuff. What an overtake that was. Couldn't believe my eyes what we were seeing. Freddie Slater on the charge and then some as he fights away by. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic stuff from Freddie Slater. An extraordinary overtake. An extraordinary overtake. Oh, brilliant. I mean, we've seen some great moves in FRECA. I think that will be regarded as one of those great ones, I am sure. Oh! Off the road we go. Off the road we go. There. I think that's Macchio off. Macchio Capito, I think was the car that was off in that instant. Let's hope all is okay. And he can continue on. So Capito with a moment. And he will continue on. So. Round the final corner. Is anyone going to have some chance to overtake? I think Di Paolo could do it. Al-Daheri's got a chance up against his teammate as well. Where do the overtakes come? Vital moment for Matteo Di Paolo. Does he stick with his championship rival? He forces Belov to go on the defensive. Surely Belov's line is going to be compromised in a dramatic way. But Di Paolo wasn't on the right part of the circuit to capitalise at that moment. And it is increasing a buffer between himself and Slater. Fantastic racing. Fantastic racing in this championship at the moment. And that is going to be brave stuff. Round the outside goes, that is Taito Kato. And he's fighting at the moment. Some crazy battling we have seen across this race. Some great overtaking we have seen across this race. I think we are getting more of that now. Over to the back straight we go. 1 second is the gap between our top two in the contest. Freddie Slater wants to go and make chase of Evan Gilter. He was, of course, stuck behind Gilter for the entire duration of the race that took place at Misano to start our campaign. Wasn't a sight that he would have wanted to see. It hasn't been a sight that he has had to see past that point, but he may have to in this instance. Di Paolo couldn't get by last time, and it means that he's got now a tough task to try and do that at some point in this race. So, round the final corner. Brilliant angle to show, if you are synced up with us, who gets closest as possible to that gravel trap. They are avoiding it for the moment. Oh! Jin Nakamura. And into the back there of Yamakoshi as they went into turn 1. So, a bit of contact being made as they went into the first turn. They get away with it. Thank God they do. Could have been heading to another safety car had that car stalled in the middle of the circuit. So yes, we shall get away with that one. But just about hairy moment though, as they just tried to keep it together. Can Matteo Di Paolo do the move? Can he complete the move? Sure, he'll be searching for it. Sure, he'll want it. And he absolutely should want it as well. Down towards the braking zone we go. And Freddie Slater getting himself involved in some other battles. Getting himself involved in some other racing. So, it'll be interesting to see what the weather's going to do specifically as well. The rain is in the air. But there's no rain expected. But it does look dark. It looks dark is the information that I'm receiving up here in the commentary box at the moment. Of course, I can't look out of the window and tell you. I mean, I could tell you what it looks like here in the UK, but not down there at the circuit. I guess that's the great thing of remote commentary, but I guess the thing is, every single real-life event that I've actually commentated, I have done remotely. Which you would expect at probably my age, because I don't think I'm going to be sent out anywhere to a real-life commentary box to call on some action. Oh, God. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. To be fair, it was quite a weird feeling, I will tell you, commentating on the GB3 Championship. And and I was, of course, there for a day of testing. So, while I wasn't, of course, commentating that day, I did a bit of broadcasting. I spoke with some drivers on that day. So, it was a little bit weird. It was a little bit weird that day, because it's like, oh, okay, right. So, yeah, you're commentating on the championship. So, yes, I'm going to be commentating this. But I actually, I literally, I'm in the paddock. I can speak to whoever I want. And literally, I mean, if I was to even do F1 at some day, it would be harder to get get drivers. But no matter whether you're GB3 media or a random guy like me, you can get anywhere you want to drivers. So it was quite a fun experience. It was quite a fun experience. Okay, enough about that. I just thought it was a bit of a calm moment in the race. So I could just quickly give you a bit of a story time. A bit of a lull period. I knew the lull period won't last for too long though, because, well, we've got some battles that are close. Some battles that are close. Let's see who else it involves. Over the line we go. 8 minutes, 30 seconds to go on the clock. Lead us through turn 1. Is anyone going to go for any form of dive bomb moves, I wonder? Can Matteo Di Paolo go for a move? He'll be after it. Belov stays ahead. And Michael Belov looking to try and get himself a 6th place by the end of today. Di Paolo will be, of course, finding himself battling with Slater for the title in the final 2 rounds. 220 points coming into this to Di Paolo. 216 for Slater. 4 points separate them. And it looks like we could be heading into another race where the championship just changes. Which in my opinion is just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic that we're getting movement. We're getting it so close heading it into the final races. It is absolutely game on to see who's going to take the crown in 2025. Monza could be quite a lot of fun. I'll definitely tell you that. Definitely tell you that Monza's going to be a lot of fun to call. In the wet, in the dry. No matter what it is, I can tell you that it is going to be fireworks, that it is going to be exciting. Last year we commentated a round of it when there was no championship battle. Today, this year, there is absolutely a championship battle that has been so close. So looking forward to seeing it. We may even have to cover, for Monza, we may even have to cover the qualifying sessions. It would just be me. I'm not going to, of course, make Wes wake up for it. But, because I know it's going to be like, what, 4 AM for him or something. I'm not going to make him wake up for it, but I think it might be a situation where we actually need to call qualifying that weekend, because that is so dependent. The way FRECA races run, it can heavily be dependent on the qualifying. Now, it's one of those circuits where you can overtake, but yeah, there is a possible chance you may need to come in and do a special round of calling all of the action that weekend. Which we can do, because that weekend we've got E4, but of course it's at the same circuit, so there won't be like a direct clash between them. And then the only other thing we've got to focus on is the Mexico City Grand Prix, which of course time zones make that absolutely possible. So everything's fine. I'm also hoping to be able to do a British F4 round at some point later on. Well, only one round left at Brands Hatch, so I'm hoping that on the Sunday we can actually commentate on some of British F4, which would be nice, because I wanted to come in and do a round, and we've not been able to. We haven't had that opportunity. So, who knows? Who knows? Maybe said opportunity may come to call that, because of course it's the final one of the season. It's the last chance that we have. So the annoying thing is that literally absolutely everything's on that weekend. I mean, I was also talking to Wes, maybe we could do a special GB4 round. But literally, GB4's on that weekend as well. So, well, GB4 starts 4 races that weekend. So it's like, okay, we can't do GB4. That is 100% a definite. We can't call that that weekend. I guess with British F4, it would just mean that we'd come in for a 30-minute slot, really. It's like just 30 minutes bolted there. It's not like... And I would come into the touring car coverage rather than, you know, it being separate or anything. So there's like... You know, it's doable. It's nice and easy. It's just do a bit of prep on it and commentate the race. Quite literally that. So it would be quite fun, to be fair. So rather than doing a whole coverage by yourself, doing the production yourself, doing everything on it. So it's quite different. It's quite different. If I was to go over and do a British F4 round in the weekend of Brands Hatch. We'll be at Donington for GB3. FRECA is at Hockenheim that weekend. So as you can imagine, I'm so excited for Hockenheim. I'm so excited for GB3 as well, because all the championships are now heating up as we reach the final stage. But for some reason, everything else is dumped on it. And then we've got F1 at Singapore as well. So I'm just hoping that there's a slot that works, and that we can slot our way in to cover a race. There'll be 2 races that'll be taking place. So we'll on the Sunday. So I should be able to hopefully maybe try it. Definitely getting 1. We've got a battle for the lead. Pedro Claro closing in. Closing in. Forces a lock up for Delaney. You guys see? Brilliant waffling. Brilliant waffling. And then the battle heats up for the win. And then you've got to be... Oh, okay, let's go back to this. But no. What a fantastic fight. This could be. These two have dominated the way because Bora 5.6 seconds back. He's done a great job. Now does Claro have it in him to push that little bit harder, to go all in, to get the win? He locks up. He locks up there. So Pedro Claro pushing on hard, trying to force an error out of Delaney. Makes one himself in the pursuit of the RHGP car. Uphill you go. Can we see anything come in this battle? onto the back straight. Delaney will be just staying ahead. Claro brings it into the corner. Make his way round the final few turns on this circuit, and then we'll put his foot to the floor. Do you have push to pass left, and when are you using the push to passes as well? So many important questions. Chances around this circuit to overtake can be quite difficult in these cars. I mean, if you were watching the Austria race, which it was difficult to overtake even there at times for these drivers. So I think that tells you everything about the car, but that's what happens at an end of a cycle. Things just don't start to work, and then we have a change, and we're having such a big change next year. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this championship will work and how it will evolve and progress. We've got plenty of battles going on. We've got a battle for the win. We've got a battle for P3 as well, and we've got one for P6. So it is a lot of fighting out there on the circuit. One which will hopefully go all the way till the end of the contest. Enzo Delaney leading Claro in second. Bora staying ahead of Gilter, but only just, because Gilter is really putting the pressure on. This is superb from Evan Gilter. He wants a podium spot at the moment, and if these two have contact, if these two have issues, they will have Freddie Slater in behind, waiting to capitalise. Gilter trying to go round the outside. He's not going to do that. Evan Gilter putting plenty of pressure on. We make our way onto the back straight. This is for the final spot on the podium. Gilter wants the inside line. They nearly make contact into the corner, and that is going to be line compromise. Freddie Slater wants a chance as well. Slater around the outside. He's not going to get past two cars. Surely he's not going to do it. Oh my word, that was such a brave attempt, but he couldn't do it. Gilter nearly loses a position as Slater tried to go all in. That would have been extraordinary. He's already made one thrilling move today. Could have been 2. 4/10 over the line for the race victory. Penultimate lap of the race. Battle for P3 going on. It is all coming alive in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Delaney stays ahead of Claro. Battle for third. Gilter around the outside into turn 1. Can he do it? He'll be off the road, and he'll have to follow the race director's instructions and go to the side of the bollard. He'll rejoin ahead, but he'll need to give that position up, and that's exactly what he'll do. Penultimate lap of the race. We've got to fight for the win. We've got to fight for P3 and for P6 as well. Gilter tries to fight back. Does Slater get a chance? He's made one incredible move already today. Add 2 to the list because he's gone the long way round, and Freddie Slater gets through again. Slater up to P4. Can he get a podium? He's got one more car ahead. Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Gilter loses the chance. Slater improves his position, and Freddie Slater now finds himself in position. If I can get my words out, this is so exciting to try and attack. 5/10 in it for the win. It's all coming down to a boiling finish. A Slater podium could be up for grabs. I mean, Belov is closing in. Belov is now closing in with how much these lot are fighting. What's going to be the gap across the line? Is there push to pass left now for Delaney and Claro? Delaney to defend, Claro to attack. About to go on to the final tour around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. We are on the last lap of round 8 of the season. Does Pedro Claro have a chance to go for the win? It doesn't look like it. Was 5/10 over the line. And I think unless it's brave, unless it's brilliant, unless it's beautiful from Claro, it should be hanging the way of Delaney. And what a fantastic fight it has been between them all the way to the finish. We make our way through turn 3. Matteo Di Paolo, championship leader coming into today. Well, he's about to lose the championship lead. But is he going to be able to fight his way to maintain P7? That's the place that he's in at the moment. Could he get past Belov? So many question marks. Is he going to be finishing ahead? Is he going to be finishing behind? Will he maintain position? Who's going to be the winner? Half a lap to go to decide. Enzo Delaney navigating his way perfectly through this final tour. Here we go. Down towards the braking zone. Is Pedro Clara feeling brave? Can't do it. Not an error being made from Delaney. That's been the case all the way through today. Claro closes in so much, as meanwhile, Bora defending from Slater. Slater trying to get through. It would be extraordinary if he can get his way onto the podium. Meanwhile, battle for the win is going on. It won't be going on for long because Delaney's hanged on and he's going to come across the line. Delaney holds off Claro to win at Barcelona. He takes the win by 0.3 of a second and Slater's wide. Gilter to the inside. Slater was off where he went off yesterday and it is going to be Bora. Then it'll be Gilter. Then it'll be Slater and Matteo Di Paolo can sigh a bit of relief as the points deficit won't be as much as it could have been heading into the penultimate round. Slater tried to go around the outside and he was wide, he was in the gravel, and when he rejoined, the ART driver of Gilter went through and he will take P4. Thrilling stuff, FRECA stuff, all the way to the end. Wow. Fantastic racing. Fantastic racing. Delaney, Claro, Bora, Gilter and Slater. Extraordinary. Speechless. Honestly, I'm speechless after that. Let's run you through the results. Enzo Delaney ended as the winner. Pedro Claro took second. Akshay Bora took third. Then it was Gilter, Slater, Belov, Di Paolo, Taito Kato, Hiyu Yamakoshi, Jin Nakamura. And then it was Rashid Al-Taheri, Kanato Lee, Jack Beaton, Santiago Ramos, and Ricky Lee. That was your top 15. Fastest lap went to our race winner. A 1 minute 37.875 was set around the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. 32 minutes and 44 seconds is what this race lasted in total. Dion Gauda in 16th. Then it was Bedrin, Edie Robinson, Matthew Capito had a wide moment in the race. Then there was Yuan Pusue, Tim Gehard, Sakal Masheri, Nant Howard Bakti. And then it was Borna, Vesilaho, and Giovanni Maschio retired and found himself not being able to go past lap number 2. Okay. What a race. Please bring on Hockenheim. Absolutely fantastic. That is unbelievable. I'm quite literally speechless up here in the commentary box. Where Slater went off yesterday, didn't cost him that a position one day ago. Does, however, happen today. And that was absolutely fantastic. Cars getting themselves into park for me. Deservingly so. After the performance that they have put in. Seriously, I cannot believe what we have just witnessed. Some great fighting all the way till the end. FRECA delivers. And it delivers an Enzo Delaney win. Enzo Delaney. Absolutely some fantastic racing, some fantastic driving has been put on show. We will now, of course, prepare for Italian F4. That will be coming up very, very soon, I am sure, here on JB Motorsports. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Italian F4 having their final race of the weekend. Yeah, so basically we should be having 5 races at Misano later on this year, by the way. So expect a lot of Italian F4 action, but it's just the weekend of Italian F4. So if there was a weekend for it to happen, I don't mind that one bit. Italian F4, by the way, well, it was supposed to be happening in around 3 minutes' time. We were supposed to be live for it, but I can definitely guarantee you we won't be doing that because, well, the whole schedule's been delayed, which is why this race started so late. Right, anyway, we had a start behind the safety car. We finally went green in the championship and had some fantastic racing as we made our way through. It was a chaotic start as everyone went battling, and we would see some fantastic racing, and we would also get a sight of contact being made as Giovanni Maschia found himself retiring for the 13th time in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. That would bring out the safety car. We would continue and go back to green flag racing very, very shortly. And there would be some fantastic wheel-to-wheel, side-by-side combat across the back end of the field. We would have Macchio Capito, who was going to be off the road, and there would be some crazy fighting between Bora, between Gilter, and it all opened the door for Freddie Slater to go all the way around the outside and make one great overtake into two great overtakes at the exit of turn 4 this weekend, and he could complete the moves by turn number 6. There would be a battle at the front between Enzo Dellini and Pedro Claro, but it would be a battle that would result in victory for Enzo Dellini, who came across the line to win once again this season. But that wouldn't be it in terms of drama. We would see Freddie Slater trying to battle and trying to get a spot on the podium, run out wide, and he would drop down to P5, and P4 went to Evan Gilter. Time to welcome the drivers onto the podium. Should be quite a good podium. So, we find ourselves preparing. So, Slater scores 10 points on today. And so, we will now prepare for this race for Italian F4 in a bit. But the podium is going to be what is going to be taking place next here at the Circuit de Barcelona. Michael Belov scores a first points finish since race 2 at Imola, by the way. So it has been a bit of time ever since then. So we find ourselves. So according to a bit of information I'm receiving up here in the commentary box, I think, so I'm hearing George Morgan, the commentator, is suggesting that it is level on points at the moment in the championship battle. So, it's going to be interesting. We find ourselves heading on to the podium for this race. Level on points in the championship battle between Freddie Slater and Matteo Di Paolo. 2 rounds left, everybody, to crown a Formula Regional European Champion by Alpine. It's going to be fun. So Dion Gauda, the rookie win goes to him once again. The trophies get presented to first, to second, and to third if you are synced up with us. And you have the official stream on. You can hear the Italian F4 engines in the background. It's actually quite a nice feeling knowing that I'm commentating the next thing that's going on. You'd usually have the timings reset to GT Open or something. But in our case, if they do reset, I don't mind. Because that's what I'm commentating next. It'll literally be go off this and go straight on to that type thing. So going to be quite a lot of fun. The trophies get presented. What a superb race that was. So, the pit lane will open at 50 past for Italian F4. Wet track and the lights are on is the race control message that we have just received up here in the commentary box. And great to see our top 3 on the podium. A deserving top 3 as well. A superb, fantastic race. Of course, we've got the French driver on top. We've got Brazil in second. And we've got India in third. Time for the French national anthem. Great to hear the French national anthem. So, well, here we go. That is it. In the commentary box, my name has been Omi. It has been an absolute pleasure to have your company this weekend. It is level on points between our top 2 in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Freddie Slater versus Matteo Di Paolo. 1 champion, 2 rounds remain. We'll see you when we go racing for round 9 at Hockenheim. Goodbye. There we go, grid's all set up. Schedule for 5, okay, so we get like a 10-minute